What you're looking at is not a city. It's a cattle feed yard. From the sky, giant rows of cattle stretch across the landscape while trucks move constantly through the facility, delivering food. At first glance, it almost doesn't seem possible. How can one industry feed millions of people every year? And what happens when drought, rising costs, and shrinking cattle numbers threaten the entire system? To find the answer, we need to travel into the heart of America's cattle country, where one of the largest food production systems on Earth works around the clock to keep the nation fed. Few companies show that scale better than Five Rivers Cattle Feeding. It is the largest cattle feeding company in the world. Its giant feed yards stretch across multiple states and can hold more than 865,000 cattle at one time. Every year, more than 1.8 million cattle pass through its system. That's more cattle than the population of many major cities. But this story doesn't begin inside a feed yard. It begins hundreds of miles away on America's ranches. Across the Great Plains, young cattle spend the first part of their lives grazing on grass. They grow naturally as they roam across wide stretches of open land. For generations, this has been the image most people associate with American ranching. But eventually, those cattle begin a new journey. They leave the ranches and head to giant feed yards. And this is where the real challenge begins. Feeding a few hundred cattle is difficult enough. Feeding hundreds of thousands is something else entirely. Every single animal needs food and water every day. If supplies stop arriving, even for a short time, the entire system begins to feel the pressure. To keep everything running, a constant stream of feed must arrive at the yards. Huge amounts of corn, grain, and other crops are delivered every day from farms across the region. Feed trucks then move through the facility, delivering carefully planned meals to thousands of hungry cattle. The amount of food used in a single day is enormous. This is why modern feed yards look less like farms and more like giant industrial operations. Everything must work together. Farmers grow the crops. Truck drivers deliver the feed. Workers maintain equipment and care for the animals. Veterinarians help keep the cattle healthy, while managers use computer systems to track thousands of animals at the same time. Every part of the chain matters. And when everything works, the system can operate at an incredible scale. But then comes the biggest challenge of all. Nature. No matter how advanced the technology becomes, weather still has the power to change everything. A drought can reduce the amount of grass available for cattle. Less grass means higher feed costs. Extreme heat can place stress on animals, while severe winter weather can create new problems for ranchers and feed yard operators. In recent years, drought has become one of the biggest challenges facing America's cattle industry. The nation's cattle herd has fallen to some of the lowest levels seen in decades. That creates a serious problem. Demand for beef remains strong, but fewer cattle means higher costs throughout the entire system. For companies like Five Rivers, the mission becomes even more difficult. How do you continue feeding millions of people when conditions become harder every year? The answer is efficiency. Modern feed yards rely on science, technology, and experience to improve every part of the operation. Workers closely monitor animal health. Nutrition experts design feeding programs that help cattle grow efficiently. Computer systems track performance and help managers make better decisions. Water systems are checked constantly to make sure everything runs smoothly. These improvements may seem small, but when you're managing hundreds of thousands of cattle, even a tiny improvement can make a huge difference. And that is what allows the system to keep moving forward, day after day, season after season, year after year. The impact extends far beyond the feed yards themselves. Local communities depend on the jobs they create. Farmers depend on selling crops used for feed. Transportation companies move products across the country, while processing facilities rely on a steady flow of cattle. Yet most people never see any of this. For them, beef simply appears at the grocery store or on a restaurant menu. The massive system behind it remains largely invisible. But behind every steak, burger, and beef product is a huge network of ranches, farms, trucks, workers, and feed yards all working together toward the same goal. And few places reveal that scale better than Five Rivers. Its giant operations represent the modern face of an industry that helped build the American West. And thousands of people work together to keep everything running, all to solve one simple problem. How do you feed millions of people?